Insane rules royal kids must follow. Hey everyone, it's Alexa and welcome back to another video. Queen Elizabeth II is now 92 years old. She has 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. What do all these kids have in common aside from their Windsor bloodline? They all had to, or currently have to, follow all these insane rules. But that's the life of a royal. Before we get into today's video, make sure that you're subscribed and ring the bell so that you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Remember all the royal duties. If you thought cleaning your room was too much responsibility for you as a 5-year-old, then maybe you wouldn't cut it as a royal. Princess Diana reportedly tried to ensure that Prince William and Prince Harry lived relatively normal lives despite being part of the British royal family. Prince William and Kate Middleton want the same for their children, Charlotte, George, and Louis. However, as normal as they want them to be, they need to learn and master royal duties. One of those duties is the Windsor wave. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip mastered it decades ago. It looks like the young princesses and princes are growing accustomed to it. Graciously accept gifts. It's considered polite to say thank you when someone gives you a present. Royal children have to go the extra step of not ripping the box open with excitement. Since they are public figures themselves, the public often showers the Queen's great-grandchildren with presents. According to CNBC, when Prince George was 18 months old, he received 774 presents just in 1 year. The family also follows stringent rules about the items they can and cannot keep. If a gift isn't from a close personal friend of the family's, they can't keep it, unless it's something like flowers, a non-controversial book, or anything that cost less than 150 British pounds. No flying on planes together. Direct heirs are not supposed to travel together. The rule states that children are not allowed to fly in the same plane as their parents. It doesn't seem like a rule that the family heavily enforced, since we see Princess Charlotte and Princess George and Louis flying with Will and Kate all the time. Back in the 90s, Prince Charles and his sons all flew together for a skiing vacation. Spend Christmas with family. Think about all those movies where one character can't make it back home in time for Christmas. There's no way anything close to that is happening with the Windsors. All of Queen Elizabeth's and Prince Philip's children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren celebrate Christmas and Christmas Eve under one roof. That roof is over Sandringham House in Norfolk. Kate Middleton waited a few years before she broke with this tradition, but break it she did. Now she takes her and William's children to see the Middletons during Christmas. Baptism is a must. England might have severed ties with the Catholic Church centuries ago, but they did hold on to a few customs. The Church of England still recommends the baptizing of infants soon after the babies are born. Statistically, baptisms in the UK have overall declined, but not with the royal family. All the Windsor offspring were baptized. Even Meghan Markle was baptized a few months before her marriage to Harry. The royal dress code. It's not like any of us expected these small English children to be running around in ripped jeans and spiked jewelry. It's understandable that their outfit choices will be more conservative. They are, after all, representing a prominent European family. Take a look at any of their outfits and you'll be confused as to what year this is. They are required to dress in more classic clothes that include leather buckled shoes, trousers, shorts, collared shirts, and cardigans. Princesses always wear a dress and tights. Princes always wear shorts because it's an indication of their noble status. Speak multiple languages. When one is born into a family with ties all over the world, it's considered appropriate to speak multiple languages. At a young age, all the kids start learning a foreign language. If you grew up in one place your whole life and never had to become fluent in a different language, this might seem impressive to you. However, more and more people are moving from one country to another, so it's perfectly normal to be bilingual or multilingual early on in life. The Queen herself speaks French fluently. Prince Harry knows a little bit of Arabic. Remember your passport. For these royal children, passports at an early age are a must. Their family is always on the move, visiting one event or another in a different part of the world. Sometimes they're merely on vacation. Just because they're from an important clan does not mean they are exempt from the law. However, one person is. Queen Elizabeth II does not need a passport to travel. Go through etiquette training. The British royals go through etiquette training as soon as they are old enough to sit at a table. They attend many formal events and encounter other essential figures in global politics. As a result, they need to determine the suitable level of voice to use, how to bow and curtsy, and how to appear put together. Their speech must include more proper terms like sitting room instead of lounge, or lavatory instead of toilet. The best education. You would think that coming from an incredibly wealthy family means you can do whatever you want with your future future. Wrong. Whether you want to or not, you will be permitted to attend one of the best universities in the world. When they're very young, tutors typically teach royal children in the home. As teenagers, they then attend boarding school. After that, they go to elite institutes of higher education such as Oxford, the University of St. Andrews, Cambridge, University of Exeter, and more. Send greeting cards. Members of the royal family should always exhibit polite, appropriate behavior. One of those behaviors means they always send greeting cards to every person that sends them a letter or gift. A team usually sends and writes these thank you notes, but if the gift is especially extravagant, the royals will write the notes themselves. The security team. While the royal family doesn't have as much political power as they possessed previously, that doesn't mean they are not targets. Security personnel is around these people all the time, especially the children. The kids might not even be aware of their protective entourage. Security surrounds their nursery and accompanies them wherever they go, including school. No Monopoly. For those that play the board game Monopoly with their families, you know that this game can create conflict within a household. The royals aren't allowed to play Monopoly with each other. Someone gave the board game as a gift to Prince Andrew once, and he had to decline. He explained that the family were not permitted to play Monopoly because it gets too vicious. Packaged foods are trash. Who doesn't love to munch on their favorite snack every once in a while? The royal family, that's who. We're guessing once they reach adulthood, they eat all the Chips Ahoy and Doritos they want, but in their youth, their diets are incredibly restricted. They want the children to grow up as healthy as possible, so the family prohibits the consumption of processed foods, which includes packaged baby food. Everything they eat must be organic. No GMOs. What does organic food entail? For the royal family, that means no genetically modified organisms or GMOs. That means that they only eat fruit that is labeled organic and is in season. That means no strawberries, radishes, and cherries in the winter, and no Brussels sprouts, winter squash, and beets in the spring. As children, they probably won't be complaining about this rule too much. No nicknames. Another strange principle the Windsor family follows is that they prohibit the use of nicknames. To the public, they must appear as proper and formal as possible. It's a way to show how much dignity they have. However, look at Prince Harry. His real name is Henry Charles Albert David. Then there was his mother, Princess Diana, who was often called Lady Di or Princess Di by the public. Also, do we really think they all address each other by their full titles when they're hanging out on the weekends? We're gonna go with no on that one. Always be in attendance. Most people don't start their first job until they're in their teens or young adult years. For the children of the Windsors, their duties begin at the beginning of their childhoods. The biggest gatherings are, of course, weddings. Not only is every member of their immediate and extended family there, but hundreds of other guests are there too. Practice good posture. Your appearance can change drastically depending on your posture. Improper posture causes you to look shorter, and slouching can affect the shape and health of your backbones. Lastly, a straight back is regarded as more professional. Keep your chin up and your feet on the floor if you're sitting down. If you're standing up, space feet shoulder width apart. Cut the garlic. When Meghan Markle became part of the Windsor household, she most likely wasn't expecting to have to give up garlic. Under the Windsor roof, garlic is not allowed. This garlic prohibition isn't for any health reasons. In fact, garlic can be really healthy for you. Queen Elizabeth hates the smell and taste of garlic and has banned it from their home. People heard of this garlic banning for a long time, but the public didn't know until Camilla Parker Bowles, Duchess of Cornwall, confirmed it last year. They also can't eat any shellfish. The reason for that goes back centuries to when people didn't know what was causing food poisoning or allergic reactions. To this day, Queen Elizabeth avoids shellfish like shrimp, oysters, lobsters, and more. You mustn't carry money. We know that the Queen and her family are all rich, but how? They don't work any day jobs or side gigs like the rest of us. Mostly, the Queen receives 42.8 million British pounds, tax-free, from the sovereign grant every year. This grant comes down from the Crown Estate, where all the money from UK properties and farms go. While most of that money from the Crown Estate goes into the government, they give 15% to 25% to the Queen. That being said, royal children are not allowed to carry any money on them, so no coins or small bills in their pockets. Instead, members of their staff hold on to the money and buy everything they want or need. Before we get to number 1, we've got a question to ask. If you were a queen or a king, what ridiculous rule would you force your family to follow? Let us know in the comments below. You're done. when the queen's done. Imagine curbing your dinner according to the appetite of an elderly woman. That's what everyone, even the kids, has to do when they eat with the queen. Dinner is usually when all the family members eat together, and that's when they all must pay attention to the queen's eating habits. This tradition might seem ridiculous to some people, but from the list it's clear that the family try to eat as healthy as possible anyways. If you think about it, have you seen an overweight member of the Windsor family as of late? Not really. They seem to know what they're doing.